Hey, what's up guys, it's HoveringBanana and we're back with part 2 of my trading series from Hex to Crimson Vaults. Now I thought today's video would be pretty short, maybe 5 to 6 minutes, but we got a lot of trades to go through, most of them being small ones, so let's just jump right into them. Alright, so at the end of part 1, our inventory was worth about 32 keys. And that's why I thought today would be a short episode, because it's only about 8 to 9 keys to the Crimson Vaults. But I was just having fun with all the small trades, so it's probably going to run longer than what I expected. Alrighty, the very first trade is me selling a furry paint for 1 key. And if you watched part 1, you would have seen we did a lot of trades involving furry paints. This guy found me off rocketleague.com. And I'll show you my 2 adverts that I placed there. I was looking for either keys or offers on my little items. And this first trade was also on the 19th of April, and it was 4 PM for me. And this is just for the people that were asking me, like, how long did it take me to, trade up to a Hexed, or how long did it take me to complete this episode, or stuff like that. On to the next trade. He offered me a Venom Flex, a Merc Narwhal, a Sunflower. Those are all crappy items. You generally want to avoid items for like the Venom or the Merc. They're not very popular cars, so it's difficult to trade those items, which pretty much means they're not worth that much. But his final offer was a Dominus GT Unmasked. Now you should know that the Dom GT is a very popular car, and the Unmasked looks quite good and it's fairly new, so I decided to take that offer. Now the CC4 crate is about 12 cents on PC, whereas a GT Unmasked I'd say is about 25, but you can maybe get up to like 50 cents for it. Next up, a guy invited me, also from a rocketleague.com advert. He initially said that he was looking for like distortion decals from a turbo crate to do some trade ups. And when he told me that, I was a bit skeptical, because usually when people don't care about an item, you can't get the greatest of deals. Like if someone really wants an item, they might overpay and give you something good. So he asked me how many kawaii decals I got, and I told him I only had 1, but it was painted black. But for some reason he gave me a really good deal on that one. So the Masamune is about average in popularity, so I value this kawaii decal at about half a key. And he offered me 3 crates and a lot of decals. Now all in all, those are worth maybe 2.5 to 3 keys in items, and that's a really good deal for the kawaii decal. Next up, a guy invited me about my crates, and he said he had some wheels and hats. Now the items he showed me were pretty crappy. They were all like unpainted, things like Zetas and Troikas, really difficult to trade items. So I asked him if he has any painted stuff, and he said he had a black chef hat. Now chef hats are quite popular, and black is one of the best colors. So I'd say the item is worth about half a key, and I offered him one of my crates worth about 10 cents, so we're looking at about 40 cents profit from this trade. Next up, we got a trade for my funny book decal for the Breakout Type S. Now this is a very popular decal. It's for the Breakout Type S, which is quite popular, and it's also still quite new, so I'd say it should be easily 25 cents and maybe 50 cents. But I decided to be a bit more ambitious than that, and on rocketleague.com I put up an ad to trade these for 2 turbo crates. And yeah, a guy invited me for that trade. Now 2 turbo crates at the moment are easily 1 key. So we're looking at probably like 75 or 50 cents profit with this trade. So after this trade, I put up an ad trying to sell the 2 turbo crates for 1 key, and about 15 minutes later a guy invited me to do that one. Now I kinda think I should have held on to turbo crates longer. Maybe if I gathered a bunch I could get a better ratio. Let's say I got like 20 turbo crates. Since I'm selling so many, maybe someone's willing to pay 11, and that would give me a better ratio than 2 to 1. But it's not really that big of a deal. Now while I was putting adverts on rocketleague.com, I also had searches on RL Trades for some of my bigger items, and one of those items was my Heatwave. So I would just occasionally look there while I was watching maybe some series, just to see if any good ads pop up, and I was able to snipe a really good deal, a 1-to-1 trade with a Hexed. Now Hexed at the moment should be about 2 keys more than the Heatwave. So a really solid deal right here. Alrighty, next trade. So for any item that I had that was worth about half a key or under half a key, I tried to trade it 1-to-1 for turbo crates, and a guy bought my chef hat for 1 turbo crate. So next up we got another good deal from an RL trade search. I had my Hexed in the one box to see what people were offering, and I saw a trade. A guy was offering 17 keys and 2 DOM GTs and 3 ZSRs. Now the DOM GT and the ZSR are pretty easy to get 1 key for, and you can very often get offers over that just because of how popular the items are. So his offer should be easily about 22 keys, probably more than that I'd say, whereas our Hexed is going for about 20 keys. Our next trade comes from the Steam trading forums. I posted there that I had DOM GTs and Octane ZSRs, and I was looking for 2 furry paints for each, and a guy messaged that he said he'd do the DOM GT for 2 furries. So I've said DOM GT is safely about 1 key, and I can trade these 2 furries for turbo crates to get 2 keys, or directly trade them for 2 keys. So about 1 key profit from this trade. Our next invite comes from rocketleague.com, and we've been having quite a lot of success in the series using rocketleague.com. I just really love how easy it is to set up trades on that website and to refresh them. Like when I was trading at this time, I was only using like Reddit or Discord when I was having trouble with a certain trade. But yeah, my advert was 1 turbo crate for my sweeper Spiralis. Now I value the sweeper Spiralis about half a key, and that's the same with the turbo crate, but we know that if I get 2 turbo crates, it's an easy 1 key right there. So now we've got another invite from rocketleague.com. This time I'm selling my furry paint for 2 turbo crates and my DOMINUS GT unmasked for 1 turbo crate. Now in part 1 of this series we'd see me trade a lot with furry paints. I'd trade my items for furries, then I'd trade furries for 1 key each. But also to speed up the process we can trade the furry for 2 turbo crates. And the unmasked deal we're making about 25 cents profit there, so very happy with this trade. Next up, we got another furry trade for 2 turbo crates, and this one was 4 minutes after our previous trade, and that just goes to show how much success I'm having with the furry to key or the furry to turbo crate exchange. Next up, a guy invited me and he had offers on my 2 CC1 crates. His offer was a Breakout Type S Distortion and a DOM GT Distortion. So like I've said before, the Breakout's fairly popular. And this is a nice looking decal, so it's worth about 25 cents, maybe 50 cents. Then we got the DOM GT Distortion. DOM GT, very popular car. Very nice looking decal, worth about 50 cents. I'd say even 1 key wouldn't be that difficult for it. So we're looking at about 50 cents profit from this trade. Next up, I got an invite from a guy and he was interested in my black Trahir wheels. Now these go for about, I'd say 50 cents. Now from my previous trading, I know like all the other colors do very poorly, but the black ones actually have like a decent amount of demand for them. So I'd say these are worth about half a key. Now this trade involved a lot of back and forth, like haggling, going back and forth on like several different offers. But we eventually settled on a Breakout Vector and a DOMINUS GT unmasked. Now I'd say a Breakout Vector is about 25 to 50 cents. I think I'm going to go with 50 on this one. Whereas the DOM GT unmasked I said is about 25 cents, maybe 50, and previously we saw I got a turbo crate for it. So I'd say maybe 25 to 50 cents profit off this trade. Next up, a guy invited me for my breakout.matrix. Guy was also from rocketleague.com. He must have really wanted this decal because he gave me quite a good deal. He gave me a Hog XL, a Pixel Fire, and a Trinity. And all 3 of those items should be easily half a key. So we're looking at like over 1 key profit with this trade. Next up, a guy invited me and he said he had 4 turbo crates. And I was trying to find out what he wanted from me. I linked him my trades. He said he wanted my Aura certified wheels for 1 turbo crate. But because they were certified, I was trying to get like 2 turbo crates for them. And he was kind of looking for cars. At the time I was just trying to get furries for my DOM GT or ZSR. But he offered me 4 turbo crates for DOM GT. And there's no way I'd turn down that deal because I can easily get 2 keys for those 4 turbos. Next up, I got invited because the guy wanted my Breakout Vector decal, and in the trade menu he put a bunch of items that he could offer. I decided to go with the ZSR because that's the easiest item to trade from his list, but as he started removing items from his trade, I ended up seeing that his MK2 was actually Striker certified, so I decided to go with that one because I think it's worth slightly more than a regular ZSR. Next trade, a guy invited me for my DOMINUS GT Distortion. The guy offered me a Pixel Fire as well as a turbo crate. Now his offer's worth about 1 key I'd say, and I think that's better than the DOMINUS GT Distortion. For the next trade I got invited for my Octane ZSRs. I had adverts on RocketLeague.com trying to get 2 furries for each, and a guy invited me and he had 4 furry paints to trade, so we're looking at about 2 keys profit off this trade. So as per usual, I put up my ads trying to sell my furries, and about 20 minutes after the ZSR trade, I got a guy who invited me and offered me 1 key for a furry paint. After that, we have another guy who invited me for a furry paint. This time he was doing 2 turbo crates instead. And I'm pretty happy here to see that my furry tactic is still continuing to work for me. For the next trade, I decided, okay, I want to sell all my turbo crates now. When I had 12, I tried to get a better ratio than 2 to 1. So I tried like 12 to 7, but I got no responses off that. So it seems that the ratio is pretty firm at 2 to 1 at the moment. So I had 14, I put it up for 7 keys, and pretty quickly a guy invited me to do that deal. Next up, a guy invited me for my Pixel Fire, an ad trying to get 1 turbo crate for it. Nothing really special to say about this trade, so on to the next one. I found a guy on RL Trades that was looking for furry paint and he was offering 1 key. So I just had to quickly invite him and then we did that trade. Next trade we got a Roadhog for 1 turbo crate. Once again, nothing really special with this trade. And sorry if I'm flying through them guys, this video is just running a bit long so I want to get through it all. Next up we got another Pixel Fire for a turbo crate, and I'm actually finding these Pixel Fires to be quite easy to sell. So if you're having issues selling maybe your Trinity boost or like a Hypernova boost, maybe try trade it for a Pixel Fire and you might have more success selling that. So next up a guy invited me for my last Pixel Fire as well as my Trinity, but he didn't have turbo crates, so we instead traded it for 1 key. Next up I'm selling my ZSR Distortion for another turbo crate. So hopefully you're seeing a trend with all these small items. I either trade it in equal value for something that's much easier to get keys for, or I trade it for items that are worth slightly more. Next up I sold my Octane ZSR for 3 turbo crates. Now I probably could have gotten 4 if I maybe exchanged it to furries and then exchanged the furries to turbos, but I think I was feeling a bit lazy so I just went straight turbo. But I'd still say it's about 50 cents profit, so not bad. So now I was sitting on 7 turbo crates, decided to put an ad up trying to sell 6 of them for 3 keys, and I did that in 2 trades. The first guy 2 turbo crates for 1 key, and then the next guy the 4 turbos for 2 keys. So at this point I have 40 keys, and now I'm starting to put up the ads, 40 keys for a Crimson Vault, but I'm getting a few invites and comments from people that say they'll only do like 41 to 42. So then I had to add the furry paint on top of my 40 key offer. But then traders were still being a pain, they rather wanted 41 keys instead, so then I had to go out and trade my furry for turbos. I tried to get 2 turbos, but a guy invited me, said he only had 1 plus ads, so he offered 3 additional crates and a orange Neptune. So that's about 30 cents profit off that trade. Now I decided to take this offer because I had a turbo crate already, so I could easily get 1 key. So yep, once again sold my 2 turbos, 1 key, and now we had 41 keys. And that means we can buy ourselves something sexy. And there you guys have it. I traded my 41 keys for Crimson Vaults, and that unfortunately means our series has come to an end, although it was only 2 episodes. I'll be back with another trading series. This time we're going to go for some White Zombas. Now those are worth about 70 keys more on PC, so that'll make up for this short trading series. If you don't know, I'm doing a Heatwave giveaway for hitting 5,000 subscribers, and that's going to end on the 27th of April, so make sure you enter before then. And thank you everyone for watching. Peace.